I'm waiting for her to join. Yeah, she's almost joining. Yay! Hi, Adela.
Hi. Hi. Thank you so much for having
Welcome.
me.
Thank you for agreeing to join at such short notice.
Oh,
I
that's
harassed
okay.
her a couple of days ago. So because
That's
somebody
okay.
asked me about BC PNP, and I know
Yeah.
that's how she came here. So I said, okay, it's the best. She's the best person to talk about it. I don't know. So up to you, Abiola. Tell us
Okay.
all about you know about BC PNP. Over to you.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for having me again. So my name is Abiola, and I came to Canada as a student in 2015. And towards the end of my graduation, I was just all about I needed to get my PR before the 1 year. I could have waited a year after schooling, to apply under the CEC, but I didn't want to wait, right? So towards my graduation, I discussed with my employers about needing some documents, right? So that's one thing I should actually point out. Like for the BCPMP, you need your job offer from your employer. So you need your employer to be ready to give you, some necessary documents. And also to explain the whole thing with because employers here, when they hear anything immigration, they sometimes they just want to run. They don't want you in, they don't want to listen. So there's something you need to do. You need to let them know that sometimes they don't need to do so much. And because this job offer for the BCPMP, it's not the LMIA for my own. And I believe if you're already in BC, or even if you're coming from outside the country, you might need the LMIA. I think that's the LMIA you need for work permit. But because I had the open work permit, the postgraduate open work permit, so I didn't need the LMIA, but I needed my employer to put in the job offer. In fact, before PNP, I wanted to actually apply for the federal skilled worker after graduation, since I didn't want to wait till 1 year to apply for the CEC, but I didn't have enough points. So when I saw that I had just 393 or 396, the next thing was BCPMP. And thankfully, I'd had the conversation with my employer, needing their thanks, Delicious, needing their help, with the documents, but they didn't need to pay for anything, right? Yeah. So after when I found out I didn't have enough points, I had to apply for the PMP. And what did I do? I actually opened my profile for you
Ah, thank
guys
you. Very
so that I
detailed. Very.
can I can just walk you through it. Yeah, so just like your express entry, you have to create a profile. So you maybe I'll send you the link so that you can put it on the Welcome BC PMP website. So I had to create my profile, for me to get invitation. And then so after submitting the profile in like 2 weeks, they had a draw, and then I was invited, right? People can ask questions they want to know specifically, if at all. So just like the EE as well, you have two categories: the economic factors, which entails like your wage in BC, the wage that your employer is offering you, your experience and the likes, then also the human capital factor. Yes, so under that, I apply. Can you apply for BCPMP while you're a student? If you would apply while you're a student, then no, you cannot apply while you're a student because there are different pathways. I went as an international graduate, so I had to have graduated from a school in BC, right? So I think they have other pathways, and I'm sure she's going to give us more. She's going to give us more details on other pathways. But right now, I'm sharing my experience as an international graduate, right? Yeah. So after graduating was when I applied, and then I created my profile, and then I was invited to apply. And just like the express entry, once you're invited to apply, then you bring up your documents, and then you answer more questions and the likes. And you need a BC job offer form. There's a specific BC job offer form that you need for your employer to fill. And your employer also needs to give you some documents. And some of these documents are, just a moment. Some of the documents from your employer, they need a recommendation letter from your employer. You need a recommendation letter. It's different from the job offer letter. You also need a job offer letter. So the recommendation letter is like recommending you that you're the best candidate for this job, and perhaps maybe you've had experience there working with them, because I had experience working with them as a part-time student when I was a student on a part-time level. So so they could then recommend me. Then you also need a detailed job description form. This is different from the job offer letter. This is different from the recommendation letter, and it's also different from the BC job offer form. So it's a
So
different
I
letter
think
where
Aisha said, sorry, must you have 6 months experience before you apply?
like work experience.
I think so. I think that's what I
Work
meant.
work experience. Yes, you should have work experience from your previous it could be from your previous job, not necessarily the particular job that you're using to tender your application. Yeah, you should have, because they will also request for your resume, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because you need to also be able to show why you're the best candidate for the job. So if, because the BCPMP is like the employer saying they didn't get any other candidates within Canada, a Canadian, to fill in that job, because they have to create the job posting. So they now
Yeah.
assume that you're the best candidate, and then they need to sponsor your application. Sponsoring here, it's with the documents, not with the not financially, right? Yeah. So if you're saying you're the best candidate for the job, you want to be able to show that you have experience in that field, right? Or maybe education in that field, which is why I applied under the international graduates, because I graduated on the from the business administration. So that was how I got the job. Then you also need the company's information on that document. So I already talked about recommendation letter. You need the job offer letter from the company. You need the detailed description, job description. Then you need the company information, and you also need a copy of certificate of incorporation for that company. Yeah. Then you also
Now
need
I
the
see why they
company's.
don't want to sponsor
Yeah,
anybody
some people don't want to
using all these
release this
documents.
information. They don't want to release
Yeah.
the documents. Yeah. So then they also need a copy of the valid business license. So
Whoa.
yeah, so they need all those that's what you need from your BC employer. And then on your part, you need your education transcripts. You need for me, I also had to tender my WES evaluation report. Then I needed my copy of my resume and my school certificates.
Do
I
you
also,
need work if you schooled in Canada?
to get points for my bachelor's.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
from my, so I
Okay.
needed to put in that, because I think there's the postgraduate platform, and then there's the graduate platform. Then you also need your IELTS. You need your IELTS
Okay.
results. Yes, your passport photograph, and then also before your PMP, because I had created my express entry profile, right? And creating it made me realize I didn't qualify for the express entry. So you actually need to create your express entry profile before your PNP, because you will need the reference number, the EE, the number that starts with EE, the
Yeah.
express entry number. Yes, you need to actually make reference to it here, so that when you get invited, it just automatically just signals
Okay.
in your expression. You don't have to go back to start, updating your profile. Yeah. Yes. Then you also, as at then, you also needed to create a job bank account. But I'm not sure of now. I think they said they don't really need the job bank for now. But as at then, I had to create job account. Yes, to get that. Yeah, and then so I submitted, and in a month, apparently in a month, I remember it was in a month, I got the PNP, and it had been referenced in my EA profile, and then I got invited on the next draw. So
So
yes.
how easy was it to get this job that helped you to apply for PMP after graduation?
Okay. I got the job as a student, as a
Okay.
student. Yeah, so I was a part-time staff, and getting the job as a student made me to prove myself, to the employer, to see, and they too were able to see if I'm someone they could, work with, right? So if you have good, say, background or experience, good relationship with your previous employers, if they can help you put in the word to your new employer or proposed employer, you know, for them to know that this is what you're able to do. If you're able to prove yourself and you're able to, you know, just be there for your employer, so to say, I'm sure they can do this, because I know of people who have also, you know, been supported by the employer in this manner. So it is possible. I know sometimes it seems like, oh, this, and even some employers don't want to hear anything immigration. Like I said, they don't just want to, you know, they just think it's a long thing. Some even think maybe they have to pay or they have to be fined or the likes. No, but it's all they need is just copies, not even original copies of this document, especially if they don't have to pay anything, right? Yeah. So yeah. So getting the job, how easy was it? It was through being a student, and then while I was a student towards graduation, I let them know if they really wanted me to stay back, then I needed this, right? I needed them to be able to put in, yeah, for me. So, and then they agreed. And then, so, yeah, that was it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
they get,
interesting. So the major thing is they need a job before
yes,
you can qualify for
yes.
BCPNP.
Yeah, you
So
need a
as a
job
student,
because you need a
yeah.
job offer. Yes, you need the company's documents. Yes, you sure need.
So
You sure need a
if you're
job.
currently studying, I think the best thing is to try and find a job if you want to go through BCPNP. And
Yeah, if you're
while
studying.
you are still studying, you can be going for you can have a part-time job as well, just like she did, right?
Yes, yes, I had a part-time job, exactly. Yeah, and if you're on work permit already, there are so many people on work permits. It's, you know, be the best you can be the best employee you can be to your employer so that they will say you're worth it, right? You're worth the journey. That's another thing. Yeah, and you can have the conversation early. You know, I could have waited till, oh, you know, I can let them know later, right? Just because I needed a job. So start early. It's always good to start all these processes early. You know, let them know on time, like, okay, this and that, especially if you've, say, you've been working for a while and then you see, you can tell the vibe, you know, let them know, okay, this is in the pipeline and are they ready, you know, to help with this? Yeah. I don't know if there are
Okay.
other questions.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's about the summary. So you need a job offer. So maybe if you try and come to study in BC, from there you can apply, get a job, and then you can now go for the PMP, like
PMP.
Abiola did. Yeah, I
Yes,
guess that's
yes.
about the summary and
Yeah,
all that.
because it adds 600 points. Imagine I went from 396 to 900, and in fact, I could have shared the points. If I shared the points with people, I'll
Exactly,
still have
you should
balance.
be redeeming them.
Yeah, so
That's our African Caribbean Afro foods in
from
2020.
Pepperton.
Welcome.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah,
Thanks for joining us. So
yeah.
that's interesting. So thank you,
Oh,
Abela,
thanks for
for
having me, and thanks
joining.
for doing this. It's good to enlighten people. You know, we didn't have so many of this opportunity, you know, before coming to Canada. So having platforms like this is definitely helpful for people. So just keep it up. All right,
Okay,
then. Take
thank you.
care. Yes.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.